忘記自己係邊個。
原來呢個世界入邊咧，有一啲嘢荒謬到某一個程度嘅時候。
Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Mickey Mundy, and this is my review of Pang Ho-cheung's Exodus. Pang Ho-cheung is one of my favorite local directors. His sense of black humor is so dark that light cannot escape it. 2007's Exodus is a masterpiece of black humor, a film that is visually compelling and narratively obscure. Simon Yan plays Chim, a sergeant in the Hong Kong police. He's married to Annie, played by Annie Liu. I know, she's a yoga instructor. One day at the station, Sergeant Chim takes a statement from a man arrested for peeping into the women's room. Nick Chung plays Kwan, a squirrely little weirdo whose penchant for profanity makes me feel better about myself. I swear all the fucking time. But never mind that, because Kwan tries to tell Sergeant Jim that he's not a pervert. He says he's doing surveillance on a group of women who plan to murder men. All men. Is it true? Is he crazy? I'm not sure, because the story in Exodus is kind of hard to figure out. Actually, it's not hard to figure out. It just doesn't seem to have a resolution. Exodus is a cerebral, thematic film that shows so much self-assurance in the direction and so much narrative opacity that you might easily think Pang Ho-cheung is just showing off and indulging in his own auteur eroticism. Sick. The pace of the film is very deliberate, which is a word I use when I like the movie. If I dislike the movie, I would call it slow. But to me, it works here. Exodus is more about observation than destination, and there's a lot to look at. The reveal of the film comes off as a little weird, and maybe even stilted, but that might be the director's intention. I just can't tell. Besides, as long as there's copies of Murderer still existing in the world, no one's reveal could be as weird or stilted or, well, stupid. But I digress. Besides, the best part of this movie isn't the story. And if I say it's the worst part of the movie, I don't even mean that it's bad. It's just that so many other parts of this movie are fantastic. The opening shot of this film is one of my favorite opening shots of any film. It's beautiful, technically interesting, and profoundly twisted. I'm allergic to precious little film studies phrases like mise en scène. But the framing in Exodus is so good that more than once I actually paused the DVD just to look at it. The use of lines and angles reminded me a lot of MC Escher, who is not, by the way, a rapper fronting a klezmer band. The acting in Exodus is also very, very good. Simon Yan plays Chim with a sense of realism that I found both refreshing and kind of bothersome. He's so realistic that I found myself bored watching this civil servant go through his daily life. But then, his life gets a lot less boring. Nick Chung was really great as this fidgety fruitcake who might be right or might be insane. I know what that feels like. Annie Liu is convincing as Annie. She does a good job in the role, especially within the structure of the story. Irene Wan is commendable as Pun, Kwan's ex-wife. In a lot of her recent roles, she seemed pretty flat, so it's kind of nice to watch her really inhabit a character. Candice Yu is as entertaining as ever, playing Annie's mother and Simon's mother-in-law. It's especially funny because in real life, Simon is older than she is. Gordon Lam Ka-tong has an appearance and, as usual, makes the most of it. He really deserves to have a starring role in a movie. He really does. But I digress. Exodus is a very interesting and very engaging movie. It's a little weird, and perhaps not a completely satisfying story, but the execution is really fantastic, and it also provides a lot of food for thought. You'll be thinking about this movie for a long time after you watch it, for one reason or another. That's a rare thing, and I'm grateful. I can recommend that you watch this movie, but I want you to do it by paying for it. In the description, there's a link where you can buy this movie. That would be great. If you enjoyed this review, please leave me a comment. If you didn't enjoy the review, leave me a comment. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe, because that way I'll get more subscribers. Thank you for watching.